Hi, this is Nancy Yearout, and welcome to my show, High Road to Humanity. In every episode, I tell you powerful true stories filled with great wisdom that you can use in your own life as you strive for a higher road to travel. My featured guests will have their own unique stories to tell that enlighten your mind and your soul. So kick back, relax, and learn the secret to success when you take the high road.
First touch, strong connection, it lays deep in your soul.
Hi, it's Nancy Yearout, and welcome to High Road to Humanity. And hey, I've brought Decode back today because so many of you were interested in what he had to say and what's going on with humanity, and that I really felt it was important, and he was nice enough to come back today, and I sure appreciate it. You know, my goal with this show is to bring the information into you guys, to bring a bridge between, I guess I want to say, the material and the spiritual. We just need that bridge there. And so we have to live in this material world, but it's nice to have the bridge. And, I'm an empath and I'm a psychic, and I do help people. People have asked me, requested, do I do readings? I do. Just go to my website, nancyyearout.com, and you can book with me. Okay. I'm happy to help you. I answer questions, finance, love life, whatever you need. I'm happy to help you. Now, if you haven't watched the first show with Gene Decode, we had one with him a little over a week ago. And I would just want to read you his bio before we get started, in case you don't know his background. He said who he is really isn't relevant. He has got a background in 30 years of research and 20 years in the military in the U.S. Navy submarine force. He's been researching and studying most of his life, as he never cared for sports or other such leisure activities. He preferred to study and learn, and always has. Now, a large part of his information and awareness is of the nature of the universe, is that there is one true God, and he had a near-death experience, and we talked about this last week on the show. He was gone for 30 minutes, and when he was gone, he had a conversation with God, and God sent him back as a messenger to help humanity. And when he came back, he has different abilities, and he is able to help us, and is able to see in different dimensions. And Gene, if that's incorrect, you can tell me. But welcome back to High Road to Humanity, Gene.
Thank you. And yes, that's pretty much all correct.
Okay.
Some of the upgrades that God gave me allows me to, it was a while to get used to seeing into other dimensions, see timelines unfold instantly in front of me. When you make a choice, I could see the results of it. I can see things coming beforehand. Saved my life a few times, and some other people as well, like especially driving and things. I can see suddenly an accident occurring before it occurs.
Okay.
And so I can literally, I pulled off the road and not only averted that accident for me and the people in the car, but for other people as well. Like one I remember well was in Puerto Rico. I was driving in the pouring rain with my student in my Honda, and I saw up in the road ahead of me a mattress. And instantly I saw the car hit the mattress. And because it's full of water, it didn't move. So it stopped the front end of the car, and the car went end over end.
Oh my gosh.
So I immediately tried to pull to the right, and I caught just the left front tire, which caused us to spin out. Okay. And we went around the mattress, and then I was able to navigate it between he and I were able to get it going backwards through the underpass. And I pulled it over backwards on the side of the road, and he ran back and threw it off the road.
So it didn't happen, to somebody else.
If I had hit it straight on, it definitely would have done that.
Right.
And, there have been many, many such occurrences like that, where I've seen things that saved somebody's life or saved my life because of that gift that God gave me. Mm-hmm. And when I came back, I could see the timelines of like Hillary winning and what occurred with that. Okay. As well. And then I can see timelines shifting with choices that people make, and even just what they say.
Isn't that amazing? Our words and our choices can make that much of a difference.
Yeah. People don't realize, and I can see it as for the whole, as well as for the individual. So if an individual is focusing on negative things and saying, oh, well, now that this is the evergreen, with the Suez Canal, the Ever Given ship that's jackknifed in there and sideways and nothing. And so I got emails and people are saying, well, then it means this is going to happen and this. It's very, very negative, their outlook. And I can see for them what they are saying and projecting occurs, because you can't put out a frequency. Your voice, thoughts, and emotions are a frequency without
Right.
getting a frequency match. It's
Mm.
how you literally tune a radio and television to the channels you want. It's
So
frequency match.
that's why there's different dimensions, because we have choices. So we could go this
Right.
way or that way. I get that. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
And this is what the cabal has been doing for thousands of years, is they get to use, they have been using us to frequency match through mind farming and all kinds of events like 911, et cetera, and the shooting recently in Colorado.
Right. Fear, for
Yeah.
example, right?
They're trying to get a world in which they rule the masses through fear and terror.
You know, and that's was a lot of the questions that I had from the last show. You know, we had such a large response. And I think even though people know intuitively, and I do too, and this is true, I know not to take this vaccine. It's not good for me, but people are afraid not to. And I talked to a lady who said, you know, I don't want my grandkids to take it, but I'm a grandma and I can't control what the parents do. And I had a question of somebody who said, well, you know, this person's mentally incapacitated. So what do you do with them? Can you just address some of this stuff with the COVID? Because it's, you know, it's the people don't want to wear masks, people don't want to take the vaccine. And I feel like we're being forced to, and I feel like it's a money thing too.
All of the above, yes. And so, yeah, I agree. If you can avoid it, avoid it. There are protocols I could put out on Michael Jago's show that I am aware of,
Right.
such as Magellan's protocol and a type of compound that is like the candy that melts in your mouth, but not in your hand. Those are the letters for it,
Okay.
that will negate the effects of that.
Well, how do people get it, Gene? What do they do? I mean, can
They
you
can
put it?
contact, I can give you my Gmail, and they can contact the health coordinator.
Okay.
And give, if they want that, they put in the subject line where you're located in caps, like the name of the country, or if it's in the US in caps / the 2-letter designator for the state. Same for Canada, CA / 2-letter designator for the province, and then just put health protocol, vax protocol.
So if they had it, you can give them something they can take.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's also protocols for things like that protocol that helps with that, like the candy that melts in your mouth. I can't say it or I'll get you banned. It's like a
Oh, that's cool.
WW, invert that, make it upside down with an S, snaky kind of thing at the end, S thing.
Okay.
That kind of compound, a man named Humble has a book all about this. And if you use the 2000 protocol, which has DMHO in it, that actually resets genetics back to its original code from the research that he's done and many other people all over the world. So
Interesting.
there's that protocol. Then additionally, now there are in Ireland, they're coming, and in Netherlands, they're going forth 8,500, more than 8,500 nurses,
Okay.
and quite a few doctors are coming forth with court cases for what your concerns that you just stated about the vax, about the mass, about all of this, stating the facts about it compared to what we're being told. And so that is now going forward, because the people need to stand up and say, okay. And so, and the accepted experts need to come forward to state what is the real situation and to
Well,
join.
yeah, because like Fauci's getting paid off to do this, and so are
Oh,
these other
yeah.
people. They're all getting paid off, and it's all about cash.
Yeah, and when I was talking to a person that I get ashiatsu from every third week, and I was saying that I give alternative natural ways to deal with situations. She goes, like what? I go, like the the vaccinations and things like that. She said, why? I said, why would people want that?
Yeah.
And so, and then I said, and I went into it, and she goes, sounds like a conspiracy theory to me. Why would they not tell the truth? I go, trillions of dollars?
Right. Control.
trillions of dollars invested, trillions of dollars to be made.
Mhm. Well,
You're
yeah,
talking,
yeah, Gene, I heard in Michigan, and I heard this on the news, and this really hit me hard. And I want to ask you about it. I heard that they were like saying that, oh, there's a rise in COVID because people aren't getting the vaccination, like scaring people, like if they don't get it, it's rising and it can happen to anybody. And it's like, have you heard that?
well, if you look at yeah, I've heard lies about all kinds of things on this. Like, one meme I got, which is what, without the vax, 99.7% survival.
Isn't that
Fine. With it, what, 99.8? Is that what we're gonna see? A 0.1% increase?
Yeah, that's crazy. Is that you, Jane? That's you. Hey, it's very
Sorry
scary.
about that.
No, you're perfectly fine. That's just life. So people are afraid to get the vaccine. I have a question, and I want to know what you see in the future. I have my ideas. What do you feel that about us traveling, going on airplanes? Is it going to come to a point where they say, okay, in order to travel or to travel from state to state, you need this?
I don't think this is gonna continue
Okay.
past, at least the fall at the very most.
Okay.
I really don't think we're going to see it. And I mean, it's like, it was beautiful. 2 days ago, I'm working on a project, like I said, and I have
Yeah.
a deadline date, but I had to go get some valves for the home that are only through a special supplier. And so I went there, and the guy behind the counter didn't have a mask on. The guy in front of me didn't have, he had his down
Yay.
around his chin. I'm like, well, in that case, let me just pull. This thing's ridiculous anyway.
Oh, it is. It
And
is.
he's just like, yeah, and we started talking. And when him and the guy, the guy behind the counter, when he left, the guy that was leaving said, so good to have a real conversation about something that's obvious and true. And I go, yeah, look outside, it's snowing.
Mhm.
Do you really think a virus can? And there was one guy behind me who was way back behind us because he had his mask on and all this. And I was like,
Right.
and I looked at him, I go, do you really think logically that a virus can live out there? How long would you live out there naked? Because a virus is naked. It doesn't have any
Right. It's
kind of,
not going to make it. It's not going to make it.
yeah,
Hey,
it can't
listen,
live out there in the snow.
I know it's crazy.
It's like, what?
Gene, you're so
That's
funny.
why that's why flu season's in the spring and the fall,
I
right?
know. I know. I've never taken a flu shot anyway, so I don't know why I would take this. Hey,
Not
you know
since
what?
my military days, and the next to the last one, the last one I was supposed to take
Right.
was an eye opener.
Um,
That really opened my eyes about vax,
Tell me why.
because it was in Hawaii, and I was getting relieved, and it takes a long time to train somebody up to do everything you do
Yeah.
when you're in high ranks. So it took a while. So by the time, and we were running a class at the time, and we're in a skiff. So you have to have a code to get in, and you have to have numbers for the safe to open and get the books out and all of that you're
Right.
teaching from.
Okay.
And so they came in and said, you guys are the last two in the entire command that haven't got your flu vaccination. You need to go over to the other building and get your vax. So I closed it, emptied the class out, closed it, put everything away like you have to do, went over there, and we got over there. And, we're the very last two people in the entire command. So in the trash can are piles and piles of needles.
Right.
Now, notice something odd is that most of the needles had blue banding on them, transparent with a little blue band on each end of the needle.
Okay.
Of the little container for the fluid that goes in.
Mm-hmm.
There were 5 of them total. 4 in the trash can that had red ones, red little bands, and the last 2 was that they had left, one for each of us.
Okay.
One had blue bands and one had red bands. And the guy relieving me was African American. And I'm like doing the math. I'm like, 5 red ones, all blue. How many people are African American in our command? 5.
Oh, seriously?
They get a different flu vaccine than the white people?
Why?
Yeah, that was, this was
That
literally,
was a wake-up call.
No, that was part of it, because
Okay.
it was literally just a few days later that I had my epiphany, and that tied in. I'm like, so what is going on?
Mhm.
Because why does not everybody, and it really became apparent because I did that in my head as we walked up. So I told him, I said, you go first, because I have to go to another secret safe to get materials to take to the room. So I'll have to go. So you go open up the skiff first and I'll follow you. So they loaded up the red vial and he's in front of me. I go, wait a minute, what am I thinking? You can't even get in the skiff. You don't have the codes. You don't have the clearance yet. I have to go first. Never mind, I'll go first. So they took the red vial out and put the blue one in. And in the process of trying to, then they said, and I said, oh, you know what? I actually need, so then I thought, well, let me test this. I said, I actually need to stop and grab a sandwich or something. I'm getting really hungry. So they took the blue one out and started to load the red one back in, and they got it in. I said, I'll forget it. We're running late. We'll both go. I'll just go first. So they started to load they took the red one back out and put the blue one back in. And in the process, they're getting frustrated. So they broke the tip, the needle part off of the blue one. So they took the blue one, threw it away, put the red one in, and I'm now in front. And they go, you know what? I go, okay, I'm ready. And they said, you know what? We'll just mark you down that you already got yours, and we'll just give this one to him. And I'm like, just give me that one and just mark him down.
Mhm.
They go, no, we need to mark you down.
And
And
that
I'm
was a
like,
clear,
this is proving
yeah.
to me there's an agenda here, and they know it. They know the red ones go to the black people and
Gosh,
the
that's
blue ones.
horrible. Gene,
Yeah. I was like, and this is the US Navy. I'm like, whoa.
but why? But why? What is in that vaccine? What are they doing?
Same thing going on now. You've got a situation where there's something going on, and
But
it's
what?
not, it's like Stokely Carmichael said at Kent State Rebellion. Something is going on here, and you really don't know what it is, do you, Mr. Jones, from an old Bob Dylan song. And so, same thing is going on now is, what we think, same with Biden, same with all of this, what the masses think is going on. If you're paying attention and really understanding the various code speak and Masonic speak and all of what they call master speak for Masonic and
Right.
everything going on, nothing we see is what we think it is. Like the
My,
Evergreen ship jackknifed and all, over 20,000 containers, and what's in the containers, and then Ever Given, and then the latitude 333. And then, I mean, everything we're looking at is code. There's no just accidental something, something, something. It's all very coded on both sides. So there's a lot of things going on.
what do you see happening in the next, say, 6 months?
I would say that I see it all coming out.
Okay.
The whole world. For those of us that have been knowing the fact of conspiracies, but then calling that we're theorists.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
You're going to have people coming to you begging and crying and upset, going, I am so sorry.
Mhm.
I'm about, what I've taken 30 years to learn. They're going to be coming up and having like 80-90% of that dumped in their lap in a month.
And they'll have to process. When do you see it? You see it coming in the summer, or what do you feel?
Well, I definitely see it, I was hoping like 107 wins his bet. I still am.
I'm sorry, say that again.
107 wins his bet.
Okay.
He had a bet for April Fool's Day.
Okay.
But definitely by the fall, I don't see it going much longer than that. They really can't let it go on forever, because they can't let it roll into 2024.
Right. Intuitively, I feel July. I just want to say
Yeah.
that. I'll put my prediction out there for y'all.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason why I say they can't let it roll, because the American people, 80 million voted for Trump, and that's well known. And if you watch Linwood's video, it's without a doubt proven beyond any doubt whatsoever that what he's showing us for real, what happened. It's really, really obvious. So if we go into that, and then people go into another election presidential cycle, they're going to go, what's the point? They're going to get pissed.
Well, yeah, because if it's not fair, then yeah, you're right. What is the point?
So what they're going to do is,
Mhm.
The very last thing I would see that they would possibly put up with is vote for Trump again. And if it doesn't happen, then they would take it into their own hands because the Supreme Court doesn't, the Congress doesn't, and the military doesn't. You would have a revolutionary war in this country. If
Mhm.
it goes through another voting cycle and the same thing occurred again,
Yeah.
all heck is going to break loose. So I just don't see the military allowing it to walk that far. Right
Okay.
now, I'm aware there's some flag officer situations in the military due to various doubts about leadership and decisions and things like that. Because
And who's in charge? Who do you think's in charge? Is the military in charge, Gene?
yeah, I do really think they are in charge under Article 11.3 and 11.4. That
Okay.
they are sworn to uphold the Constitution and protect the country. So if this situation happens where all three branches of government are hijacked, executive, judicial, and legislative, especially judicial, the last fallback's gone. Supreme Court doesn't even hear things. So what
Mhm.
is left? Military. So I
Right.
don't see them letting this roll. What I see is, some flag officers have a doubt about or discussions, let's put it this way, about how to proceed from here. What is the steps and when? So I just see it as refining it and debating about what is the overall best sequence of events and when. And so they're waiting and looking at certain things. And I'm aware of certain things that occurred that I can't share, unfortunately, on March 4th and March 20th and January 19, 20, 21, and 22, where there were massive events that occurred that called for a delay of this coming out during those timeframes. And so, and that's what the flag officers are debating about is because of these events that occurred, what do we do now? And who do we trust in the group? Because there was some, certain things that were debatable about what's going on with whom. And so they're just working out the details. And I don't see that taking much longer because they have all of the information now,
Mhm.
except for the one thing I'm mentioning, which I can't share, unfortunately. But other than that, they're ready to roll. So I don't, once the military decides it's ready, they don't, they
Yeah.
put things in it's essentially like Michael Jacobs said, the special forces are sitting in their copters with, the Ospreys and the black helicopters with the rotors turning. Give us the word.
And they're
We're
waiting.
ready to move.
Now, will we get like the, you said the broadcast system, you will get that emergency signal. Will that come out? Is that what you say is the
I
signal?
would say the higher probability is that way. To
Okay.
go through the mainstream media would mean
Yeah.
that if that were to be used, it means that what we're seeing in the mainstream media too is completely a movie, that they actually have been controlling the mainstream media completely,
Mhm.
the alliance. And in all of the supposed Mockingbird 4 a.m. talking point stuff, they've just allowed the movie to roll on. And it's just like, with Smokey Joe and mirrors, you
Gotcha.
know, like
Yeah.
that he's supposedly there, Mr. Plastic Man, like the interview where he talked about going to the southern border and he walks out there in a summer suit and everybody's wearing long jackets and hats and gloves.
Yeah,
And
there's like no way, right?
he's like super, I'm just warm and toasty out here. Everybody else just eat, it's really cold and it doesn't bother me. And obviously he's not there. If
Right.
you
It's
watch
smoke
the
and
movement,
mirrors.
and then he gets about 3 feet from the reporters and his hand passes like in front of the mic by going through the mic. And I'm like, wow, if that's not obvious CGI, who I mean, what possibly? And then
Yeah. Hey, Jane, I want to ask you about the people coming in from the borders right now. It's really a tragedy. I know they're sending their kids over thinking that, this is a good thing. And I know the people are sending the kids because they do think they're doing a good thing for their kids, which is, what are you going to do? But it's a really bad situation. And I wonder if you can talk about it for a minute.
yeah, that all ties to the vaccine and everything else.
Okay.
And so
How?
I would recommend for those people doing that, as well as for the people looking at the vax, is to study the Bible and learn and figure out why God had Moses, after they got through the Red Sea, go through the Holy Land for 40 years. Why did he have him do that? And what did he have him do? And that'll answer that question on both of those topics. That's
Okay.
the only thing I can say right now.
Okay.
because it's pretty disturbing for most people. I understand. But to eradicate the cabal, you can't leave a standing army behind. Okay.
Yeah,
Just put it that way. So I know it's disturbing,
it is.
but it is I don't really see another option. So there's certain things that the alliance knows that, there's vast numbers of a standing army that have to be dealt with somehow. Because if you have even one or two members of a cabal left and they have the code to bring that army up, then we're in trouble. So you have to make sure there's no way to bring that army up. And the second thing, at least the majority of it, the second thing is you have to make sure that the people of the world, when they wake up, that they realize that, like Ronald Savin again said, that they have it like the world has a near death experience, like what happened to me. The whole way I lived my life and who I am changed,
Right.
because I realized certain things,
Yeah.
what really matters. And
Sure.
the world has to realize how, I get letters, thousands of emails, and it asks, how did evil get to this point? How could God let it? God didn't let it, we let
Right.
it.
We let it happen. We were manipulated. Well, we were manipulated, correct?
Yeah, we were manipulated, but we allowed it.
We have a
Well,
choice, just like you were talking about. We have a choice. And I always tell everybody that we're made of energy and we're very powerful and we're part of the creator. And you can either use your power for good or for evil.
yeah, it's like Sarge. I just finished Linda Paris and show
Yeah.
interview with her and Sarge, and like Sarge said, the trick that we part of the trick they did, we're deceived, is that we have a soul. We don't
Right.
have a soul. We are a soul.
Right.
There's a huge difference.
Yes.
So, this lie that you are your brain, your
Right.
body, your feeling, and your emotions, and that's it. It's like if you're going to look for human consciousness inside the brain and the body, it's like opening up your TV screen or your computer screen and looking for where Nancy is right now.
Right.
She's
Right.
not in there.
She's not in there.
Deceive her.
Jean, I want to ask you a question. I am, this is important. Every day I connect with the divine, I bring in the white light. And I tell people to do that because when they connect with God, divine, creator, whatever you want to call it, I'm not going to get political here. There is a higher power. And when you connect with that energy, it calms you and it helps you.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a second? Because I think it's so
Yeah,
important.
this is something I learned through my martial arts is with my second
Mhm.
instructor who
Yeah.
could do things that seemed to be impossible.
Mhm.
And so I finally asked him, and he said, "You're very strong, Gene, and you have many years of training, and you're really good, but you have a lot of strength, but no power. And
Right.
power comes from the source.
Mhm.
Like I won't get political like you, but
Right.
for me, God,
Yeah.
um, and you have no connection." So he told
Mhm.
me how to get a connection. It took me 6 months to get a connection, but I finally did.
Yeah.
And so, for every day to give gratitude over my meal for everything, for the whole universe, for, the Milky Way, for our solar system, for the earth, for the place on earth I am, for the things in my life, and then for the food and all the parts of the food, and then wait. In other words, I told God, thank you, but do
Mhm.
you wait for your welcome? I mean, you have a conversation, it's one way. You say thank you and walk away from someone. They go, wow. They say you're welcome to your back.
Yeah.
So, it took me 6 months to hear that you're welcome. But once you get that dialogue going with
Mhm.
the creator,
Right.
then you have that light coming into you and you have that not, it's not a belief anymore.
Right.
It's
It's
a
a
know.
knowing. It's a
You
knowing.
know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a knowing. And I just want to tell you guys, it's easy to do. I mean, I sometimes I could think I visualize myself plugging in. And sometimes I just, you just have to ask for the connection and visualize the white light. A lot of people do that. And when you do that, and like you said, I love that you ask questions and you just listen and get the answers. And then, it also heals you too.
Yeah. And, the answers and information that I've gotten once I got the connection
Yeah.
are things that, I like solutions to differential equations. 15 pages of that one time. It was like 5 people on earth when I turned it in, and my teacher goes, "How in the world did you get that?" I go, "Prayed on it." He's
There you
like,
go.
"What?" This came in a prayer. I go, "Well, in the answer to it, yeah." And he's like,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Yeah, there's only 5 people on earth could do it." I go, "Everybody on earth could do this if they knew how." So it's not
Well, or if they, yes, if we knew, yes, and that's why I think it's really cool that you're here and that we're talking about this today, because everybody has this ability and we all have it, and we got to get back to it and not, we got to reprogram. I really feel like we have to reprogram ourselves, Gene.
absolutely is to learn that we are all connected,
Yeah,
and we're all connected to source, and we're
yeah,
all our souls that are having a human experience here.
right.
Those of us, that are connected and that still have souls. Some of them don't have anymore and give them away or sold them away or whatever. And they're for them, they
Is
don't
that
have it.
true? You really believe that?
I know it. I can see
Really?
it.
So you can see people and you can see that they don't have one.
Yeah, you can see it in their
Eyes,
especially in the eyes. Yeah,
in the
the
eyes,
eyes are the
yeah.
window of the soul. If there is no soul, you see a black pit.
Okay, yeah, because I wanted, okay, now can I just ask about that? I know it sounds kind of dark, but I just want to ask because I know somebody and they were fine and I could see the light because you can see the light in people's eyes if you look. And then the light was gone and it was dark. Does that mean they've gone to the dark side, or does that mean they sold their soul, or how does that, what does that mean?
Means it's not home right now.
Really?
Yep. Building's occupied, but no one's really at home.
Wow, that's really scary stuff.
Yeah. So,
Okay, you can tell when you look at somebody,
yeah.
you
And
know.
I've had persons that I know, the same thing occurred where the eyes and literally went completely black, not
I
even whites of the eye.
Right. Oh, wow. That's
Oh,
crazy scary.
yeah, the whole eye was black.
Gee.
I'm looking at a person that used to have blue eyes with whites, regular eyes,
Sure. Yeah.
people with blue eyes and whites of the eye, and now all there is black.
So was that, I mean, and let's get down to the nitty gritty here. Is that because, they made the wrong choices and they went to the dark and the dark comes in and pretty much takes them over?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. It's all
That's what I
about
thought.
choice. What
It's all about
choices do you
choice.
make? What do you serve? And I feel just like Bob Dylan said, you got to serve somebody.
So
It may
it's,
be the
yeah.
devil, it may be the Lord, but you got to serve somebody. You could be wealthy, even own banks, even own tanks, but you
But if
got to
you're,
serve
yeah, if you're
somebody.
not with God, yeah.
Yeah, it's pointless
Yeah. Can't-
because you can't take it with you when you
I-
leave. If that's gone, you're gone.
You said it quicker than I
Because
could
you
say
are a
it.
soul. If your body goes away and your brain goes away and you gave that away, there's no more you, is there?
No.
So, but when your body and your brain goes away and your soul is eternal, then there's still you.
So what happens to the soul when the dark comes in like that and it takes over? I mean, what happens to the soul?
Multi-level marketing.
No kidding.
Yep. So the one that harvests gets a percentage, the upline gets a greater percentage, the higher up it goes.
Seriously.
Yep.
That's the whole thing. We're definitely at war.
Yep. This is not World War I and II. This
Mm-mm.
is not a battle for freedom on Earth.
No.
This is a battle for Earth,
Right.
for the human race, for
Right.
all life on Earth here
Mhm.
first. Then it'll spread across the Milky Way if we lose. And it'll go out through creation if we lose here. This is the war between dark and light. This is the beginning of it all.
What do you see? We win?
It's not absolute. People have to stand up and take responsibility. Like I said, we got here by a matter of choices.
Mhm.
Although beguiled, we allowed it. We didn't use common sense in our heart and think through the heart instead of the brain.
Mhm.
And use your gut instinct and your heart. Does this feel right in my heart, or do I feel some greasy oozy or something in trepidation here that this is not a good thing? And you still went with it. That you get whatever you plant, whatever you agree to plant, that's what you get.
You're right.
And
You're
so if you're going to
absolutely
buy into
right.
fear and terror or into lust and greed and to whatever you buy into, it's frequency matching. You dial up a frequency on the radio, you get that station. You dial
Right.
up fear and terror, you get that world.
Right. That's why I always say think happy thoughts.
Yeah.
Because when you, yeah,
Laugh often, love
yes,
each other, live in
yes,
compassion, do
yes,
random acts of kindness.
yeah. And don't tell anybody.
Yeah. Yep.
It's true. It's true.
You don't
That is
need
so true. And you know, I've been reprogramming, and I've got little stickies. I don't mind telling the audience because I think people should do it. And I've got on there, think happy thoughts. I've got little stickies on my mirrors when I go, into my bathroom. And then I'm like, oh, and then because you have to reprogram, because life can get you down. And if you can remind yourself, just those little reminders.
Yeah, I have little videos I play when I get down of I love huskies, obviously.
Yeah, I do
So I
too.
have videos people send me of a little girl. I could
Yeah.
actually play it for you if you want. I have a little
Oh,
snippet of it.
cool. Cool. Yeah. 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 You can play it for us. Yeah.
So sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, Gene.
Let me pull this up.
You're awesome. Well, yeah, because you got to keep yourself up. It's hard. I mean, even when you know this stuff, it's hard,
Yeah.
and I know this stuff, and so do you.
Yeah. So, like this. I love huskies. So
Oh, cool. Oh my God.
give me screen share. I'll start it from the
You're on screen share.
disabled.
Oh, it says, oh, no, I'm good. I got.
Click that, then I can screen share.
Oh, got it. I did it.
There you go.
I'm proud. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Gene, you're so great. Oh, look at the little girl.
Singing together.
She's kind of crying.
She's laughing.
She's laughing.
So I just have something to make you laugh.
Oh gosh, I love Alaskan. I love Malamutes. I had one. I think I told you that. I need to get another one. I need a puppy.
Gotta laugh every now and then.
That makes you laugh. Gene, you're so funny.
Something that makes you laugh, and another one on the reverse side of that. Here, let me share this one.
Oh,
This
you're
is
so
hilarious.
funny. What?
I got another one here. This is the reverse of it. This is, he talks about how petting your dog is very relaxing.
A lot of people ask me after a long day of voiceover or writing or doing all those creative things that I do, how do I relax? Well, like many other Americans, I come home and I pet my dog. See, petting your dog is one of the most relaxing things you can possibly do. It releases a hormone called oxytocin, which reduces stress. Also, it lowers your heart rate and it lowers your blood pressure. Dogs are 5 times more likely to live longer than people who just have cats. Plus, the dogs like it so much, and it's a nice bonding experience.
All right, Gene. That's it.
To make you laugh.
Oh yeah, because they say laughter is the best medicine, and it truly is. It truly is. Thank you for sharing that with us, Gene. Really, oh my gosh. I don't know if I can go on and ask you all these questions now. You put like I was in a serious mood here. Hey, listen, the audience had some questions, and so there was a couple that I wanted to ask, and I think I asked a few, but let me just make sure. Let's see here. Like I had asked you before, somebody had said, what do I do if people have disabilities? And you say and they have to get it. Are they making people with disabilities get it right now? Or do you know that? I haven't heard anything. Are you still with me, Gene? Did I lose you? Are you there? Okay, I think we lost Gene here for a second.
I couldn't even chat to you and tell you. So what I was doing, since I could share, was typing an email up.
You're like, hey, Nance,
made it so I can't unmute our chat.
Oh my God.
That's a first
Okay.
for me.
I know, me too. I'm like, but where are you? And I can't see you.
I'm
Yeah.
right here. I was
I
typing
know,
an
I
email to
know.
you.
I'm
And then I was
like,
going to share my screen and say, you have made it so I can't unmute our chat.
oh my God. I'm like, well, we're having fun today, huh? Well, I will say this. Okay. And let me try to get the video. I got my side back up. I don't know if I get your side back up. All right. And there was, I wanted to know about the recent shootings that have happened. There was that shooting that just happened in Boulder, Colorado. And there was the one that happened recently. I think it was in Atlanta. And I wonder what's that about? Is that random? Is that planned? What is this about? Gun control?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It,
Standard cabal thing of creating a situation for a weak planned response, which is
okay.
gun control.
Well, yeah, because you've got 10 people who just were at the grocery store and got shot for no reason and, by some random guy, and there was no reason behind it.
Yeah, and actually the code name for that op was Red Mesa.
And what is the reasoning behind this, Gene? Why are they doing this?
Push gun control.
Gun control.
So there's already a state that has proposed that it be outlawed, the ability to own guns. And there is also legislation now being proposed that says that you have to pay $850 a year just to be able to keep a license for a firearm.
So they're making it so that if you don't have the money,
Yep.
you can't afford to do it.
Yep, that's the plan. Again,
Okay.
that's why all of this moving forward, I don't see if the military doesn't take effect at one point, sooner or later, if they actually try to go for it, the military, the people of the U.S. are going to, of the American citizens, that it's the largest cache of weapons on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to just turn over. I mean, how many times have you seen the only way you get my gun is from my cold dead hands?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So there's a lot of people, especially in the the middle part of the U.S., Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, all the cowboys, cowgirls. They're pretty,
Sure.
a lot of retired military, etc., that think along those lines, and they're not going to just turn it over.
Mm-hmm.
And they by far outnumber the cabal.
Well, and then I had, there was a time a couple of years ago where there was a shortage of ammunition.
Yep.
As well.
I recommend, just like various other people do, is to go ahead and go out and get yourself stocked up.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's all you can really do. With everything going on, we don't have a ton of time. I don't want to take up your whole afternoon, but it's really good to talk to you. And I know a lot of people are just, wanting some, I don't know, a sense of everything's going to be okay. And the only thing I can offer is to go within and to connect with God, and you will be fine. What do you suggest?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
God, and I go with, Simon Parks is lovely on how he says this, is that I don't see God creating the human race to go down into the darkness.
No.
And to be eradicated and created this world to not, if we stand up, and enough have stood up now, where we will have a Red Sea moment where whatever is required will happen to bring this cabal down. It's happened before. God has stood up and taken out the cabal before. And
So this is what happened before when there was a great flood and different things. That was the cabal.
Yep, being taken out. So it's been done before. We stood up. Those that's enough stood up, and they're standing up again, and it will come down.
Gene, I know you don't know everything, but why does it keep happening over and over again?
Because you have a situation like what I mentioned in the Bible with Moses and that, where you have another group on earth called the Canaanites and the bloodlines of Cain that are constantly interfering with humanity. And so they are trying to get a situation where they are in absolute power and control.
Mhm.
through their pride and their jealousy and their ego and who they serve, they believe that they should inherit the earth. And so, without having a soul of their own, in the sense that humans have a soul, then they don't have the same compassion and love and understanding and feelings.
Okay.
And so, all they see, because they don't have that soul, when they die, they die. So I got to make it good now. And for my progeny is the only way I live on. So we're going to make it so that me and my progeny have absolute, eventually live forever and have absolute power and control, and everybody serves us. And so when you have the ends justify the means, and that's the mindset they gave some humans as well, that if you're going to live by the ends justify the means, you wind up becoming the cabal. And so that's why the Alliance is very careful not to go there. They are careful on how they do things, like some of the discussions, what's going on now, how to do this appropriately by the laws of creators, such that the ends aren't justifying the means. Otherwise, you wind up just replacing the cabal, because you'll do anything to get what you want. And you don't have any regard for life and compassion and understanding and the things that are required. Because if you create a system by that means, ends justify the means, then you wind up getting that system. And so you got to be careful how you go there. So, it's important for us on a daily basis, like you said, to connect to the love and compassion of God. And for me, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, to connect to that every day. And to connect every morning to say, thank you, God, for another day and the sun coming up. And at the end of the day, from all of the things in my life and all of the hard stuff, to what is the lesson.
Yeah.
And not take it as a personal affront, and not take it as, that's messed up and this is this. No, what is the lesson that I need to learn so I don't have to repeat this stuff?
Right.
Where am I off in my service and in the way I'm living that caused this to be brought to me? Instead of saying, what is being forced on me, it's all choice.
Right. Don't be the victim. Look in
Yep.
yourself and say,
Stop being a victim and stop having victim mentality, and learn to stand up for yourself, but be kind, compassionate, considerate, and respectful. And tell the person there that you're in front of is, you're knowing that they're not in that mode. And then you're like, Jesus Christ was in the bank, in the money changers, where he overthrew the tables. So we have to do the same. We have to throw down the table here and flip the tables over from the bankers and all of what's going on. Just like then, the same thing now. So the only question is, is to, if you have the time to logically think through this all and see, what is my step-by-step action plan that I need to go to get back the situation the way it should have been in the first place, and never allow it to happen again.
right.
And
Well, we all have the ability to change right now.
yeah, all you have to do is just a choice. And this is what people forget, is really there's only one thing you can control. You can't control those around you. You can't control anything. That's the illusion. The cabal thinks they have control. The only thing you can control is whether you're good or you're evil.
Right.
So you either are making choices as a good person and trying to do your best and to help others, and they're kind and considerate and respectful to others and the highest interest of all life everywhere, or you're not. And if you're not, you're going down a slippery slope, and it's only a matter of time till you hit the bottom.
Well, yeah, it's only good for a little while and then you're gone, and there is life after this. And I think that's what, once you realize that this isn't it, and what you do down here matters.
Big time. This is school.
Yeah.
And how you graduate school and what you go on to is absolutely dependent upon how you perform here.
Yeah, because there's different levels in heaven, right?
Well, there's different levels of service as you go up. And so, your lessons learned, grades passed, and service and what you serve is absolutely what defines what comes next.
Wow. Wow. I hope that people start to wake up. I think they are. I feel like, I'll tell you what, Jean, I do the show. I do a couple shows a week. I had you back right away because I had so many people listen to the show, because people are looking and they're searching and they want answers, and they're just searching. Are you still with me?
Just
Jean, what would you like to leave the audience with today?
live each moment and in the moment, and not always looking to the future or to the past, but doing the best you can for the highest interests of all life everywhere, and as kind and compassionate and respectful as you can every moment, and
Mhm.
understand that it has an absolute bearing on what's to come, and to realize that there is only one creator. Learn about the golden mean phi proportion. If there's one proportion that all life is based on, you look at these beautiful trees and the way these branches are coming off are in that proportion. And these arcs and spirals are the phi proportion. The digits in your hand, the DNA spiral, the spiral of a hurricane, the spiral of the Milky Way. If there's one proportion, there's one creator. And so you either serve that and you're in the highest interest of all life everywhere, or you're not. And don't take anything for granted. Live your life and make every moment matter. Don't
Yeah.
take things for granted and let them go by and be rushing around. I'm hurrying in here in my car to get to the point next, and not where you are. Enjoy the journey, and be enjoying and be grateful for all you have, whatever that is. You know,
Mhm.
there's times I've lived in my car and I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
I have the car to live in. You
Yeah,
know,
well, it's a
I could
blessing. People forget it's a blessing to be here. It's actually a privilege to be here, and I don't think people recognize that.
yeah. So I would say find the beauty
Yeah.
and find creator if you haven't. And, you know, and God bless everybody. And, you know, stand up for those that can't stand up for themselves, and do what's right. When it gets hard to do it, that's the most important time.
That's
The
why it's
harder it is
difficult.
to do the right thing, do the right thing.
Mhm.
Be as honest, considerate, and respectful at all times, and be as realize it's not just about you, it's about everything everywhere. That we are the guardians for this beautiful planet you see here. And the reason it's getting messed up is because we're not stepping up to the plate. So we got to step up, like many doctors are now doing, and nurses saying, with these court cases, we're not going to allow this to continue. So we need to do the same. So we need to come together. So that's what I'd like to leave, is for everybody to find God and Creator, and serve the Creator of all things. And if possible, they could find His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, and accept Him as their Lord and Savior. In my case, yes. So, but at the very
Mine
least,
too.
yeah, at the very least, realize that it wasn't some random explosion, because this is not random.
No.
There's nothing random. Go in a salvage yard, keep blowing things up, and see if you create a 767. It's not gonna happen. It didn't just blow up and become organized by blowing things up. Doesn't happen. Blowing up what, too? A little speck in the infinite creation? No, sorry. Infinite creator, infinite creation, all based on one golden proportion. So one golden creator. So I would tell everybody, enjoy your life, and stop looking forward and looking now. I've been at this 30 years, and for 20 plus years there was no hope at all, and now you have hope and you have things to look forward to.
Yeah.
It is coming out. The darkness is being taken down.
I think it's
Rest
wonderful.
assured that as we stand up, the darkness will fall, because there's far more in the light than there is in the dark, and the dark doesn't exist without the light.
Right.
The shadow of the tree requires the tree and the light.
Right.
We are the tree, and the light is the creator. And there is no shadow without those. Their illusion is they could have shadow without the rest of it. That's not how it works.
So we have way more power than what we give ourselves credit for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, thank you for taking time for us today. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll have you come back again. Hey, you guys, this is Nancy Earl. This is High Road to Humanity, and we will see you next time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Connect the dots and keep the motion. Can achieve your goal. Let's hit the high road.
Hey,
Hey, you guys, join me next week on The High Road for more stories filled with wisdom, love, and hope for our future. Have a fabulous week, and know that by staying on the high road, you will make it to your destination. Visit my website, nancyyearout.com, where you can book a private session to learn how to tap into your own abilities. And check out my YouTube channel. It's Nancy Yearout's High Road to Humanity.
You can achieve your goals.